Hey ladies, welcome back to my channel. I want to ask you something. Have you ever looked at a Korean woman in her 60s or 70s and just thought, how? How is her skin doing that? Because I have, many times. And I finally went down the rabbit hole. I did the research. I tested things on myself. I called in some favors. And today I am sharing everything I found. The Korean secrets to reducing wrinkles naturally. And some of this is going to surprise you. Are you ready? Let's get this beauty started. Okay, so full disclosure. My daughter sent me a video about 3 months ago, a Korean skincare routine, and I watched it and I thought, interesting, and then I closed it and I did nothing because I already have a routine, you know? I'm set in my ways a little bit, I'll admit it. But then I kept seeing things, articles, more videos, comments from you ladies, and finally I thought, Diana, just try it. Just actually try it. So I did, for 6 weeks. And I'm going to show you exactly what I found. So before I get into the actual secrets, and there are specific ones, we're going to go through them one by one. I want to talk about the philosophy first, because I think this is actually the most important part. And it's the part that's completely different from how we were taught to think about skincare here. The Korean approach to skin is not about fixing, it's about feeding. And that distinction changed everything for me when I finally understood it. We grew up being told, okay, you have a problem, here's a product, put it on the problem. Dry skin, moisturizer, wrinkles, retinol, dull skin, exfoliate. It's very reactive, very problem solution. And Korean skincare, particularly for mature women, is almost the opposite. It's this idea that you layer, you build, you give the skin so much hydration and so much nutrition that it just starts to behave differently on its own. Does that make sense? And now I want to show you what I've been doing in the morning before anything else, because this is where the Korean routine really starts, and it starts with an oil cleanse. Now, I know some of you are already doing this. I did a whole video on double cleansing. Go check that out because it goes into a lot more detail. But for those of you who aren't familiar, the idea is simple. Oil dissolves oil. So you take a cleansing oil. I've been using one from La Roche-Posay that I found, and I just keep coming back to it. It's gentle, it doesn't strip anything. And you massage it into dry skin first. Dry skin, not wet. And you just work it in for a minute, maybe a little longer. And what it's doing is dissolving any leftover residue, any sunscreen from the day before, anything that's sitting in the pores. And then you rinse. And I know some of you are thinking, Diana, oil on my face in the morning, and I'm telling you, trust me on this one. And this is so Korean, this is so specific to the routine, you go in with an essence, not a serum, an essence. And the difference is the weight. An essence is lighter, it's more watery, it absorbs almost instantly, and it's the first real layer of hydration you're putting on the skin. I found one, I think I picked it up, I don't know, I want to say it was about 2 months ago, maybe longer. It was in one of those Korean beauty sections, and I just grabbed it because the texture intrigued me, and I was not expecting much, honestly. And then I put it on, and my skin just drank it, like immediately. No sitting on top, no tackiness, just gone, into the skin. And I thought, okay, I understand now. I understand why Korean women look the way they look. And then eye balm. Always the eye balm. I've talked about this before, and I'll keep talking about it because I genuinely believe it is the most skipped step for women over 60, 70, 80. The eye area is where everything shows up first. The dryness, the fine lines, the crepiness. And if you're not feeding it before you put anything else on, you're fighting an uphill battle all day. So just a tiny amount, pressed in very gently, ring finger only because it's the weakest finger and you don't want to pull that skin. And then we move on. Okay, so here are the actual Korean secrets, the specific things. And I want to be clear, these are not gimmicks. These are not trends. Some of these have been practiced for generations. And when you understand why they work, especially for mature skin in your 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, it just makes sense. The first one is facial massage. And I don't mean a quick little rub when you're putting on your moisturizer. I mean intentional, deliberate, upward massage. The Koreans call it chok chok. This idea of patting and pressing the skin rather than pulling or dragging. And when I was working as an esthetician, I actually did something very similar with my mature clients because I saw what it did for circulation, for lymphatic drainage, for just waking the skin up. What you're going to do is use your knuckles, yes, your knuckles, and very gently work from the center of your face outward and upward, chin up toward the ears, nose out toward the cheekbones, forehead up toward the hairline, and you do this for about 3 to 5 minutes. I know that sounds like a long time. Put on a little music, make it something you look forward to, and if you have shaky hands in the morning, which I know some of you do, and it's okay, it's completely okay, you can do this lying down, resting your elbows, so your hands are more stable. Not a big deal, not a big to-do. The second secret is something called the 7-skin method, and this one I was skeptical about. Very skeptical. The idea is that instead of applying your toner or essence once, you apply it 7 times. 7 thin layers. Just patting it in, letting it absorb, patting again. And I thought, that sounds like a lot. That sounds like a waste. And then I tried it, and I genuinely could not believe what my skin looked like afterward. It was plump, like actually plump. In your 70s, when the skin has lost so much of that volume and bounce, plump is not a word you use a lot, but that's what it was. And the science of it actually makes sense. You're not flooding the skin all at once. You're giving it small amounts it can fully absorb each time, so nothing sits on the surface. Everything goes in. And for mature skin that has thinned over the years and doesn't retain moisture the way it used to, this is doing something really meaningful. The third secret, and this one I feel like is the sleeper, the one nobody's talking about, is green tea, specifically using cooled green tea as a toner. I'm going to correct myself here. I almost didn't include this one because it sounds too simple. But I've been doing it for 4 weeks and I'm not stopping. You brew it, you let it cool completely, you put it in a little spray bottle, and you mist your face before your essence. And green tea is loaded with antioxidants, EGCG specifically, which help with inflammation, with pigmentation, with just the overall quality of the skin surface. And it costs almost nothing. I think I spend maybe $4 a month on the tea bags. $4. And Aunt Nancy, she's 80, she texted me at 11 o'clock at night last week, which is just very her. She said, Diana, I've been doing the green tea thing, and my husband said something to me about my skin for the first time in 30 years. So, that's the review right there. The fourth secret is gua sha. Now, I know this one has had a moment. You've probably seen it everywhere. And I was a little late to it, honestly. I kept seeing the rose quartz tools and thinking, that's for younger women, that's not for me. And I was wrong, because gua sha for mature skin, when you do it correctly, gently, with a good facial oil underneath, it is doing something for the jawline and the neck area that I have not found anything else to do. You're moving lymph, you're lifting, you're encouraging circulation in areas that really slow down as we age. And the key word is gently. You are not scraping, you are gliding. Light pressure, always upward, always. And if you're not sure about the technique, go slow. Don't worry, you can always just do less. You cannot undo rough pressure, so just be soft with yourself. And the fifth secret, the one that is maybe the most Korean of all of them, is sunscreen. Every single day, rain, shine, winter, indoors, outdoors, every day. And I know we've heard this, but Korean women are almost religious about it, and the research backs them up completely. UV damage is the #1 cause of visible aging in the skin, more than anything else, more than genetics even. And the Korean approach is to protect what you have rather than try to reverse what's already happened. So if you are not wearing SPF daily, over 50, 60, 70s, 80s, 90s, this is the one thing I want you to take from today. Just this one thing. A light SPF every morning. That's it. So now I want to show you how all of that prep, all that layering, all that feeding we just talked about translates into how the makeup sits, because this is the part that I think is going to make a lot of sense to you. When your skin is properly hydrated underneath, everything on top behaves differently. And I mean that literally. The texture changes, the way products move changes, and for mature skin, in your 60s, 70s, 80s, that is everything. So I'm going in with my concealer first, and actually wait, let me get the right brush. Okay, so I've been reaching for this L'Oreal True Match concealer a lot lately. It's about $5, which I love, and the finish is not too matte and not too dewy. It's just right for skin that's been properly prepped. I'm going to go under the eye and just bring it down slightly onto the upper cheek, that downward triangle. You've heard me talk about this, and I'm patting it in. Not rubbing, patting. Because we've just put in all that work hydrating and we don't want to disrupt anything. And just look at how it melts in. That's what properly prepped skin does. It just accepts everything. Then a very light BB cream. Warmed in the fingers, pressed into the skin. I want to see the skin. I want you to see it too. We are not painting over all that beautiful work we just did. We're just evening things out very slightly, and this is so aligned with the Korean approach actually. They call it glass skin, this idea that the skin should look translucent and alive, not covered, not masked. So less is genuinely more here. Brows, just a little fill where they've thinned, nothing dramatic. Quick strokes, light hand, and if your hands are a little shaky in the morning, use a brow powder instead of a pencil. It's so much more forgiving, it just softly fills rather than drawing a line. Cream blush on the cheeks, always cream on mature skin. I will never stop saying it. Just a little warmth tapped onto the apple and blended up. And then for lips, I'm going in with a NARS lip liner today, just slightly overlined, and a balm on top, something hydrating. I think this color is going to work actually. I wasn't sure when I picked it up, but yes. Yes, I like it. Oh, completely off topic, but I have to share this. I was reorganizing my bathroom cabinet last week, which turned into a 4-hour situation. I don't know how that happens, but it always does. And I found a Chanel foundation I bought I think maybe 2 years ago. Still sealed, never opened. And I stood there for a minute just looking at it thinking, do I even remember buying this? I don't. I have absolutely no memory of it. But it's there. So, that's the state of my beauty cabinet. Okay, back to what we were doing. So ladies, there you have it. The Korean secrets to reducing wrinkles naturally. Facial massage, the 7 skin method, green tea toning, gua sha, and SPF every single day without exception. 5 things, some of them free, all of them real. And I want you to notice that not one of them came in a $200 jar with a promise on the label. This is a philosophy, a way of treating your skin like something worth tending to every day, not something to be fixed when it starts to bother you. And I think that's actually the deeper thing I want to leave you with today. Korean women have always known something that we are only just starting to catch up to, that the skin you have at 70 is the result of how you treated it at 50 and 60. And I know some of you are thinking, well, Diana, I'm already 70, or 75, or 80, and I want to tell you, it is never too late. The skin is always responding, always. Henrietta knows this, and she is 101 and still showing up. So we show up too. We feed our skin, we protect it, we honor it, because it has carried us a long way and it deserves the attention. And until my next video, I'll see you later.